Today's outing is going to be kind of fun because I'm doing two things. First of all, I've given myself a project. The reason why I've come out is to get one photograph, just one photograph, and I'm going to be doing it with a vintage lens. I've had the lens for a little while now and I've never really used it. It's from the early 70s. It's a Soviet knockoff of a Zeiss Sonnar 50mm f.2. It's a 39mm threaded lens which was designed for the old rangefinders, I think as far back as the 1930s, 1940s. The camera that it came off was a Leica rip-off, a Leica 3 rip-off, a Zorka 4K, again Soviet. This is my local area and it's really not great for landscape photography, to be honest. I have to really search hard to find something, and the project today is actually a detail shot, a very simple sort of fine art shot, but I want to test this lens. Here's a nice clump of trees, so let's start with that. Now the reason why I can do this is that K&F Concepts very kindly sent me an adapter, a 39mm thread to a Z mount adapter. It's kind of exciting. I've been planning on getting one for ages, but they just happened to contact me out of the blue about a month ago and said, would you like to review anything? Would you like us to send you anything? And I was tempted to get a new tripod because I need one. When I saw these adapters, I thought, oh, I'd like to have an adapter and give that a go because it's kind of fun. So the very first shot, this is literally the first time I've used this lens, and I've put it on my Z9. Now the reason why it's on the Z9 is because I want to do some filming as well. I want to see what it's like for video. Now I don't have any filters, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but luckily it's fairly dull, overcast today, so I might be able to get away with it if I'm shooting at 120 frames a second. But right now I want to take a photo. Before I tell you about my project and get into my project, I want to take a photo of this clump of trees just to see what this lens is like. Let's give it a go. So the aperture ring is on the front and the focus ring is on the back. I kind of like that. It's very, very smooth to focus. It's very impressive. Very, very good build quality from what I can tell. And there's actually distance markings on the barrel. Why did they stop doing that on modern lenses? Looks a little bit unusual. Such a tiny little lens on such a big camera body. Anyway, the sun's coming out. That means I can't film with the camera. My project today, well, this is my local area where I come for walks, bring the dog. Last week I was here and I noticed all of these white flowers. This time of the year they die and they curl up and create a sort of a ball shape, I guess full of seeds, and it's just a really nice shape on a very, very long stem. So when I got home the other day, I sketched out this idea for a very simple minimalist fine art shot that would make a great print. So that's what I've come back here to do today, is to try and recreate what I've got in my mind or in my sketchbook now. If I can recreate that, and it's going to be a bit tricky because it's really, really windy today. I want to do three heads together, set of three. So it's going to be also tricky finding the perfect three. But let's give it a go. That's kind of going to be an interesting shot to check the chromatic aberration. Not that things like that really bother me, but it just sounds like I know what I'm talking about, doesn't it? So if you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I don't actually review gear. Over the years I've been sent quite a few things and I've looked at them and thought, I wouldn't use them. I wouldn't use them myself, so I'm not going to review something and pretend something's good just because it was sent to me and I can suck up to a brand. It's not the game I'm going to play. I don't do affiliate links. Not that I've got anything against that. Maybe I'll change my mind one day, but after 6 years of this channel, I'm not really interested in trying to flog gear. But if something comes along that I genuinely think is useful and I would actually use, or something that I actually do use and have a lot of experience using, then yeah, I'm going to talk about it if I think it's going to help. If I think it's going to help you. The reason why I decided to accept K&F Concepts' kind offer is because recently I bought a whole bunch of their products, a whole bunch of their filters actually for filming. I was making a film in Spain and I needed a whole ton of filters for various lenses, and I was really impressed with the quality, I must say. I'm not really going to review it. I mean, it's an adapter, connects a lens to a camera body. It's made of metal and it seems to be well built. What else can I say? Am I going to be able to focus the lens with it? Does it actually work? Well, can't tell you that right now. I'll find out later. This is going to be very tricky, but as I continue my search for the perfect 3, the sun has actually gone behind some dark clouds. I think that means I can shoot some video with this lens. As I said earlier, it's hard to shoot video if you don't have neutral density filters. I'll see what I can get. I doubt whether I can go to f2 to test it wide open, but we'll see. And it's also, I guess, ironic that the reason why I put this lens on this camera is I am actually interested in using it for filming more than photography, I think. And the reason I'm interested in this old lens is because it doesn't have all the fancy coatings and everything that a modern lens has, which means you're going to get lots of lens flare and all sorts of weird characteristics when the light is bright, and particularly when you shoot into the sun. Enough messing around with video, testing video with this lens. Let's go and do some photography, see how this lens is going to work out. I'm just going to shoot whatever I can shoot with these dried flower heads. The idea was to actually shoot them against a bright sky, so they're almost silhouettes. I wanted something very simple, very high contrast, high key. So let's get to that. Although I do want to photograph these flowers before I do that. The only thing I don't like about this lens so far is the minimal focus distance isn't that great. It seems to be about 1 meter. I really want to get in close, but I can't. But this camera, I can crop in. I mean, it's actually, I don't know how many megapixels it is. 40 something, 45, 47, 48. I don't know, who cares? It's enough. It's enough for me to crop in. So let's try that. So I think what I'm going to do is shoot one at 2.8 because that's what it's on. Enough of that. Most of the lenses I'm using now for my photography and video are manual focus lenses, older lenses. I'm accumulating a few. I just find it so much more, I don't know, I'm connected to what I'm doing more than just using autofocus and just relying on a computer and a camera. Look at this wonderful meadow of goldenrod. There it is. And the sun's come out again. Let's give this a go. See what we can do with these guys here. 1/20,000th of a second. It's the only way to do it. I'm going from 2.8 to 8. I think 8's a good depth of field because the background is going to be just sky anyway, so it's not going to, isolation isn't such a big issue here. This one's nice because I'm shooting into the sun and I've got a dark background behind it, so I've got a light subject with a dark background and nice shallow depth of field. I'm shooting f2 here and I'm getting lovely lens flare. As I said earlier, I use the Z9 for video, not photography. I had no idea that I could shoot at 1/20,000th of a second, and I just looked at the camera and it goes up to 1/32,000th. That's just insane, isn't it? Wow, I had no idea. Never read the manual or looked at the specs. I just knew it did good video and bought it. That was it. Look at all of these are fantastic. So many. Got to get really low. I'm going to put this one at 2.8 and crank up that shutter speed again to 4,000th of a second. That's not too bad. Well, I've been spoilt for choice with those seed heads, and I think I've got the shot that I came out here for. And I'm really excited actually to get home and put these on the computer and see how this lens worked out. I'm probably going to be using vintage lenses a lot now, certainly for my filmmaking and probably photography too. They're fun. Take a look at the images that I've got, and at the end you'll see that final image, the one image that I came out here for to get. Okay, so I cheated. I couldn't find the exact 3 together that I wanted, so I took a few home and shot them in my studio. But hey, I ended up with the right shot, the shot that I wanted. Sometimes you've got to be a bit creative with these things. I hope you found that interesting, and I'd actually love to know, are you using vintage lenses on modern cameras? And if so, what are you using? Let me know in the comments. I think that'd be really interesting to know. I think they're getting more popular. They're certainly getting more expensive, so that's saying something, right? Anyway, big thank you to K&F Concepts for sending me the adapter. I'm gonna have to get some more now because this is fun. See you soon.